Chosen one, hear me now. This moment is not by accident. If you are watching this, if this message has reached your ears, know that God Himself has aligned this moment in your life. The time is now. Heaven's doors are opening, and what you are about to hear will change everything. You have waited. You have prayed. You have endured moments of silence where you wondered if God was listening. But let me tell you, He has not forgotten you. The delay was never a denial. The process was never punishment. It was preparation. And now, God is saying, the wait is over. The blessings you have been longing for are already set in motion, and very soon, you will see the manifestation of His promises. There comes a time when faith meets fulfillment, when prayers turn into testimonies, and when what seemed impossible suddenly becomes reality. This is that moment. God is not asking you to wait any longer. He is telling you, expect the unexpected. A divine shift is happening, and you are at the center of it. You may not see it yet, but listen carefully. Miracles don't always come with warnings. Sometimes, God moves suddenly, in ways beyond human understanding. What you thought would take years, God can do in an instant. The breakthrough you assumed was far off is already at your doorstep. Doors you never thought would open are about to swing wide before you. And those who doubted you, those who thought your time had passed, will stand in awe as they witness what God is about to do in your life. This is not just another message. This is your divine confirmation. God has chosen you for this season of overflow. You were not meant to struggle forever. You were not meant to stay in lack, in sorrow, in uncertainty. The enemy has tried to delay your destiny, but God has declared, no more waiting, no more setbacks, no more missed opportunities. You are stepping into a season where things will happen fast, so fast that you will barely have time to comprehend them. Financial increase, divine healing, restoration of relationships, unexpected favor. All of it is being released over your life right now. But here's what you must understand. God is calling you to believe before you see. Some people wait until the miracle arrives before they rejoice. But the truly chosen ones, those who walk in faith, they celebrate before the breakthrough, because they know that when God speaks, it is already done. So let me ask you, are you ready to receive what God has for you? Are you prepared to step into the blessings that have been stored up for you? If this message is resonating in your spirit, it is because God Himself is confirming that your time has come. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share will awaken something deep within you. Chosen one, the season of waiting is over. Now is your time. Expect the unexpected, because God's hand is about to move in ways that will leave you speechless. The weight of waiting can be heavy. The endless prayers, the sleepless nights, the moments when you whispered, God, when will it be my turn? You've watched others receive their breakthroughs, and though you rejoiced with them, a part of you still wondered, Lord, have you forgotten me? But hear this today. God has not forgotten you. Every tear, every sacrifice, every silent battle you fought in faith, it has all been recorded in heaven. And now, the time of waiting is over. The season of uncertainty is being replaced with clarity, and the long nights of struggle are giving way to a morning of joy. God said, the time is now, not tomorrow, not next year. Now, this very moment, the heavens are shifting in your favor. The blessings you have been praying for, believing for, and standing firm for, they are already being released. God is saying, expect the unexpected. You may not know how. You may not see a way. But trust this, God has already made the way. How do I know this? because God is not a man that he should lie. When he speaks, his words do not return empty. They accomplish exactly what he declares. And today, he is declaring over you, no more delay, no more lack, no more being overlooked. The shift has already begun. The problem with waiting is that it often blinds us. When we've been in a dry season for too long, we start believing that drought is normal. But God never intended for you to struggle forever. He never designed you for a life of constant disappointment. The enemy may have tried to convince you that you are forgotten, that your dreams will never come to pass, that your breakthrough is for someone else. But today, God is breaking that lie. The promise has always been yours. The delay was never a denial, only a divine setup for a greater testimony. Now listen carefully. This blessing will come suddenly. One moment, you will feel as though nothing is happening, and the next, everything will change. That's how God moves. He shifts things in an instant. And that is why he is telling you now. Be ready. The doors that have been closed for years are about to open without warning. The favor you thought you lost is about to find you again. But God is also asking something of you. Prepare your heart, because when the blessing comes, it will be bigger than you imagined. When the favor arrives, it will be overwhelming. This is not a small shift. It is a divine repositioning, and only those who are ready will be able to carry it. So, let me ask you, are you ready? Are you truly ready for what God is about to pour into your life? Because once this flood of blessings begins, there is no turning back. Your name is already being mentioned in places you never expected. Opportunities are aligning behind the scenes. Divine connections are being set in motion. And if you believe this, if your spirit is leaping right now as you hear this, it's because God is confirming it to you. This is not just another message. This is your moment of confirmation. Get ready, chosen one. The time is now. Expect the unexpected, because what God is about to do will leave you speechless. You've waited, you've endured, and now the heavens are moving on your behalf. What does it mean when God says, "The time is now"? It means that the season of waiting, of being overlooked, of feeling forgotten, it has come to an end. It means that everything you have prayed for is already in motion, even if you can't see it yet. God works in ways we cannot always understand. Sometimes, the blessing comes disguised as a storm. Sometimes, the very thing you thought was breaking you was actually building you. That delay, it wasn't punishment, it was positioning. That rejection, it wasn't abandonment, it was redirection. Every moment you thought was wasted was, in fact, preparation for what is now unfolding. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned. It looked like setback after setback. But God was writing a bigger story. Joseph wasn't being punished. He was being positioned. When the time was right, God didn't just lift him out of the pit. He placed him in a palace. And that is exactly what God is about to do for you. The breakthrough is closer than you think. The miracle you've been waiting for is already on the way. But here's what you must understand. Blessings require preparation. Too often we cry out to God, asking for the overflow, yet we are not ready to carry it. God doesn't pour new wine into old wineskins. He won't place a blessing in hands that are not ready to hold it. That is why this season of waiting has been necessary. God wasn't denying you. He was developing you. He has been strengthening your faith, sharpening your discernment, and increasing your wisdom. Because when this blessing comes, it will be too big for the unprepared to handle. Some people pray for financial breakthroughs, but they are not faithful with the little they already have. Others pray for relationships to be restored, but their hearts are still holding on to bitterness. Some ask for new doors to open, yet they are still afraid to step forward when the opportunity comes. God is saying, "Get ready, because when this blessing arrives, there will be no time to prepare. You must already be in position to receive it. The unexpected is coming. You may wake up one morning, and everything has changed. The phone call, the open door, the opportunity. It will happen suddenly. And when it does, you cannot afford to hesitate. You must be ready to step into it with faith, knowing that this is the moment you have been preparing for all along. This is why God is speaking to you now. He is giving you a warning wrapped in a promise. The blessing is coming, but will you be ready to handle it? Chosen one, listen carefully. The time of watching others be blessed while you wonder if God has forgotten you. That time is over. You have been faithful, and now God is rewarding you. The doors that once seemed impossible to open are about to swing wide, and when they do, you must be bold enough to walk through them. But here's the truth. Not everyone will understand what God is doing in your life. Not everyone will celebrate your breakthrough. Some will question it. Some will try to bring up your past, to remind you of who you were before God transformed you. Others will be jealous, wondering why it's happening for you and not for them. Ignore the noise. This blessing was never for them. It was for you. You have been set apart, chosen, hand-picked by God for such a time as this. And when God decides to bless you, no one can stop it. This is your confirmation. Your waiting season is over. Your moment has arrived. Expect the unexpected, because what God is about to do in your life will leave even you in awe. The most powerful moments in life often come when we least expect them. God's blessings don't always arrive with fanfare or warning. They show up suddenly, like rain in the desert. One day, everything looks the same, and then in an instant, everything changes. But here's the truth that many people miss. God often moves in the silence. While you've been wondering if He heard your prayers, He's been working behind the scenes, aligning every detail, every person, every opportunity, so that when the time is right, the blessing will arrive effortlessly. Look back on your life. Think about the times you thought you had lost, the moments when you felt abandoned, when you felt like your prayers were met with nothing but silence. And yet, you are still here. You made it through. You survived the seasons that were meant to break you. Why? Because God never left you. Even when you couldn't see Him, even when you doubted if He was listening, He was working on your behalf. And now, the time of silence is ending. The shift is happening. What does this mean for you? It means that the same God who carried you through your lowest moments is about to lift you to your highest ones. The same hands that held you when you were struggling will now push you forward into purpose. The season of labor is over. Now comes the harvest. But here is the challenge. When the breakthrough arrives, will you be ready to step into it? It is one thing to pray for a blessing. It is another to walk in it. Some people cry out for change, but when it comes, they shrink back in fear. They hesitate, doubting if they are truly ready. But God is saying, "Do not be afraid. I have prepared you for this." When Peter saw Jesus walking on the water, he was filled with faith. He stepped out of the boat. But the moment he took his eyes off Jesus and focused on the storm, he began to sink. He forgot that the one who called him was greater than the waves beneath him. That is the lesson for you today. God is calling you into something greater. You have prayed for it. You have waited for it. And now, it is time to step forward without fear. Do not focus on the waves. Do not listen to the voices that try to make you doubt. If God has spoken it, it is already done. This next season of your life is not about waiting. It is about moving. Moving in faith. Moving in confidence. Moving with the certainty that God has already gone before you. And here is the most beautiful part. This blessing will not just change your life. It will change the lives of those around you. When God blesses His chosen ones, the overflow touches everyone connected to them. Your family, your friends, even people you haven't met yet. They will all see the power of God at work in your life. You are about to become a testimony, a living example of what it looks like when God takes someone from the back and places them in the front. When He lifts someone from struggle to abundance, from waiting to fulfillment. This is why the enemy fought you so hard. This is why the battle was so intense. Because the blessing on your life is not ordinary. It is extraordinary. And the enemy knows it. But here is the good news. No attack of the enemy can stop what God has already decided. What is coming for you has already been written. No one can take it away. This is the moment you have been waiting for. The moment when the doors open. When the favor increases. When the breakthrough arrives. Are you ready? Because God is saying, the time is now. Expect the unexpected. Because what He is about to do in your life will not just surprise you. It will shock everyone who ever doubted you. Something is happening in the spiritual realm right now. You may not see it with your physical eyes yet, but deep in your spirit, you can feel the shift. There is a stirring, a movement, an anticipation that something great is about to unfold. That is not your imagination. That is confirmation. God is speaking to you in ways that only your spirit can comprehend. He has been whispering to you in quiet moments, giving you dreams, sending you signs. You have sensed that something is coming, but now He is telling you clearly. The time is now. This is not a random moment. This is divine alignment. The prayers you thought were forgotten were actually being prepared for the perfect timing. The doors that remained closed were not rejection. They were protection, keeping you from stepping into something too soon. Because when God moves, He does not just bring a blessing. He brings the right blessing at the right time. Think about that. If you had received what you were praying for too early, would you have been ready for it? Would you have been able to carry the weight of it? Many people pray for blessings they are not yet prepared to receive. They ask for a financial breakthrough, but have not yet learned how to steward wealth. They pray for influence, but are not yet ready to handle the responsibility. They ask for opportunities, but hesitate when those very doors open. God loves you too much to give you something that will destroy you. So He waits. He prepares. He refines. And then, when you are truly ready, He releases it suddenly. That is what is happening now. The process is complete. You have been tested, stretched, strengthened, and now you are ready. The waiting season has done its job. And just like that, everything is about to shift. But here is the key. You must respond with faith. When God says, "The time is now," He is not just speaking a promise. He is calling you to move. This is where many people miss it. They hear the call, but they hesitate. They wait for confirmation after confirmation, asking for another sign, another word, another moment of reassurance. But faith does not wait for every detail to make sense. Faith moves when God speaks. Abraham was called to leave his home and go to a land he had never seen. He did not wait for a map. He simply obeyed. Moses was called to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, even though Pharaoh's heart was hardened against him. He did not wait for Pharaoh's permission. He simply obeyed. And now, God is calling you. He is telling you, step forward. Move. The door is open. Walk through it. Do not let fear stop you. Do not let doubt hold you back. Do not hesitate when God is saying, go. Because what happens next will not just change your life. It will set you on the path that God has been preparing for you all along. This is the moment when your faith meets your future. This is your divine appointment with destiny. Get ready. The unexpected is about to happen. There is a reason why God is telling you, the time is now. It is because what He is about to do in your life cannot be delayed any longer. The waiting season is over. The doors that once seemed shut forever are about to open wide. This is not just another step forward. This is a complete transformation. And here is the truth that few people understand. God moves suddenly. One day, Joseph was in prison. The next, he was second in command over all of Egypt. One moment, David was tending sheep. The next, he was anointed as king. One night, Peter was fishing with empty nets. By morning, his boat was overflowing. This is how God moves. One moment, it feels like nothing is happening, and then suddenly, everything changes. And now, you are next. This shift is not just about receiving blessings. It is about stepping into your purpose. Everything you have been through has been leading to this moment. The hardships, the disappointments, the times you felt invisible. God was using it all to prepare you. And now, your time has come. The enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten, that your prayers were in vain. But he is a liar. God has been working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, aligning every divine connection, preparing every opportunity. Now, the manifestation is about to happen. And this is where faith becomes crucial. Because when God moves, not everyone will understand it. There will be people who question your blessing, who doubt your breakthrough, who wonder how you received favor so quickly. But remember this. This blessing was never about them. God chose you. He saw your faithfulness when no one else did. He heard your prayers when no one else was listening. He wiped your tears when no one else noticed. And now, He is about to reward you openly. The shift is already in motion. The blessing is already on its way. The divine appointments, the financial increase, the unexpected favor, it is already being released. But here is what God is asking you to do. Walk in expectation. Do not just wait passively for the blessing. Prepare for it. Expect it. Act as if it has already arrived. Because when you walk in faith, you align yourself with the move of God. No more second-guessing. No more doubting if you are worthy. God has already decided. The time is now. Expect the unexpected, because what is coming next will leave you in awe. Chosen one, hear this clearly. This is your moment. The waiting is over. The prayers have been answered. God is moving right now, and you must be ready to step into the blessing. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to act. You have been faithful. You have endured the trials. You have passed the test. And now, heaven is responding. The floodgates are opening, and what is coming will be greater than anything you have ever imagined. But listen closely. This is your defining moment. What you do next will determine how you walk into this new season. Will you step forward in faith, or will you shrink back in doubt? This is not the time to question whether you are ready. God has already declared that you are. The shift is happening now. That opportunity you have been waiting for. It is coming. That breakthrough you have been praying for. It is already in motion. That financial increase, that healing, that open door. It is unfolding right before you. But you must move. God is asking you to stand in faith, to trust Him completely, to act as if the blessing is already here, because in the spiritual realm, it already is. If this message is stirring something inside you, that is confirmation. God is speaking directly to you. This is your divine moment. So lift your head, stand in boldness, and step forward, because what is coming will not just bless you, it will elevate you to a place where your testimony will inspire many. Chosen one, God said, the time is now. Expect the unexpected. The miracle is already on its way. This is just the beginning. What God is about to do in your life will not only bless you, but it will shift everything around you. You are stepping into a season where favor follows you, doors open effortlessly, and miracles become your new reality. The days of struggling in silence are over. The nights you spent wondering if God had forgotten you. He heard every prayer. The moments when you felt like giving up. He was strengthening you. Every tear, every sacrifice, every time you chose faith over fear, it was not in vain. And now, you are walking into something greater than you ever imagined. But hear this, God is not just giving you a blessing. He is making you a testimony. The world will see what He has done in your life. The same people who doubted you, who overlooked you, who thought you would never make it, they will have no choice but to acknowledge that the hand of God is upon you. This is why the journey was so hard. The enemy fought you because he knew what was coming. He saw the favor on your life before you did. But he could not stop what God had already decided. And now, it is time. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let doubt rob you of what is already yours. Stand firm in faith, because God has already gone ahead of you. Everything you have been waiting for is here. The doors are opening. The blessings are unfolding. The breakthrough is happening. Chosen one, expect the unexpected. Your time has come.